Namaste and hello everyone. Welcome back to Doon GK Valley channel. In today's video tutorial, we are going to cover important current affairs of first half of month August, especially relevant for your coming competitive exams. So let's begin this current affairs session with this news. Punjab secured the first rank in the Niti Aayog School Education Quality Index 2026. Punjab has emerged as one of India's strongest performing states in school education, with recent reporting placing it ahead of Kerala in the Niti Aayog's assessment of school education. Niti Aayog's official publication is titled School Education System in India, Temporal Analysis and Policy Roadmap for Quality Enhancement. It examines school education using a range of indicators, including learning outcomes and data from Parakh 2024, rather than being formally titled a School Education Quality Index. Gujarat to develop Asia's first desert-themed drive-through night safari at Disa. Gujarat has received approval from the Central Zoo Authority for a desert zoological park and night safari at Juna Disa in Banaskantha district. The project is planned over approximately 103 hectares of government land and is proposed as Asia's first desert-themed drive-through night safari and zoological park. The night safari is a wildlife viewing facility designed to allow visitors to observe animals that are mainly active after the sunset. The park is planned around a desert ecosystem with natural-looking arid landscapes designed to provide a suitable setting for desert and dryland wildlife. According to the reported plan, it could accommodate around 2,700 native and exotic animals and birds representing nearly 83 species. India reaffirms commitment to elephant conservation on World Elephant Day 2026. India observed World Elephant Day on 12th of August, renewing its focus on elephant conservation, protection of habitats and corridors, and reducing human-elephant conflict. Union Minister for Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Bhupendra Yadav, highlighted India's conservation framework, which includes 33 elephant reserves across 14 states and 150 scientifically validated elephant corridors. India is particularly important for the global conservation of the Asian elephant. According to the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, nearly 60% of the world's wild Asian elephant population lives in India. This makes the protection of Indian elephant habitats important not only nationally, but also for the survival of the species globally. Russia imports gasoline from India amid domestic fuel crisis. Russia has received gasoline from India for the first time as Ukrainian drone attacks continue to disrupt the country's oil refining infrastructure, creating serious shortages of petrol in several regions. Recent reports indicate that a shipment of Indian gasoline reached Russia in early August, highlighting the growing pressure on Russia's domestic fuel supply. India targets 100 gigawatt nuclear power capacity by 2047 under nuclear energy mission. India has set an ambitious target of achieving 100 gigawatt of nuclear power generation capacity by 2047 under the Nuclear Energy Mission for Viksit Bharat. The initiative is aimed at expanding reliable, low-carbon electricity generation, strengthening energy security, and supporting India's goal of achieving net zero carbon emissions by 2070. Uttarakhand approves relocation of High Court from Nainital to Haldwani. The Uttarakhand government has approved the relocation of the Uttarakhand High Court from Nainital to Haldwani under the final executive order. A 30-hectare site at Lamachur along the Haldwani-Rudrapur National Highway has been identified for the development of the new High Court campus. The proposed relocation is primarily linked to concerns about accessibility, connectivity, infrastructure, and the long-term expansion of judicial facilities. Astrobase unveils Everest, India's first privately built 800 kN full-flow rocket engine. Bengaluru-based space tech startup Astrobase Space Technologies unveiled Everest, an 80-ton class full-flow staged combustion rocket engine. The company describes it as India's first privately developed engine using this advanced propulsion cycle. Everest is designed to generate 800 kilonewtons of thrust and is intended to power a reusable medium-lift launch vehicle. Everest uses liquid oxygen as the oxidizer and liquid methane as the fuel. This combination is commonly called methalox. Its most important technological feature is the full-flow staged combustion cycle. Bhavna Kant becomes India's first woman fighter combat leader. Squadron leader Bhavna Kant of the Indian Air Force has created history by becoming the first woman pilot in India to qualify as a fighter combat leader. She completed the prestigious FCL course at the Tactics and Air Combat Development Establishment, Gwalior, marking another major milestone for women in India's combat aviation. Ladakh to launch India's first high-altitude wildlife safari. Ladakh has approved India's first high-altitude wildlife safari, a major initiative aimed at combining wildlife conservation with responsible and community-based tourism. The decision was approved by Ladakh Lieutenant Governor Vinay Kumar Saxena on August 6. India observes 12th National Handloom Day, celebrating weavers, heritage, and the spirit of Swadeshi. India observed the 12th National Handloom Day on 7th August, celebrating the country's rich handloom tradition and recognizing the contribution of handloom weavers and artisans to India's cultural and economic life. The day also recalls the historic Swadeshi movement of 1905, which encouraged the use of indigenous products and supported Indian industries. The date has historical significance. On 7th August 1905, the Swadeshi movement was formally launched at Calcutta Town Hall during the freedom struggle. The movement promoted Indian-made goods and encouraged people to reduce their dependence on imported products. Handloom and khadi became important symbols of this movement because they represented self-reliance, indigenous production, and economic empowerment of Indian communities. Hiroshima marks 81st anniversary of atomic bombing. Hiroshima observed the 81st anniversary of the atomic bombing on 6th August, remembering the victims of the devastating attack that took place during the Second World War on 6th August 1945. On 6th August 1945 at 8:15 am, an atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima. It exploded in the air above the city, causing enormous destruction through intense heat, blast, and radiation. Hiroshima's official records describe it as the first atomic bomb used against human beings. The bombing occurred in the final stages of the Second World War. It remains one of the most significant events in modern history because it demonstrated the unprecedented destructive power of nuclear weapons. Operation Trishul, India intensifies global hunt for fugitive criminals. India has significantly strengthened its efforts to track bringing back fugitive criminals hiding abroad. According to the Union government, 274 fugitive criminals have been brought back to India from 36 countries since 2019. The figures cover the broader government-led effort against fugitives, while Operation Trishul is one of the important CBI-led mechanisms used to track and repatriate wanted offenders. Operation Trishul is a CBI-led initiative aimed at locating fugitives who have escaped abroad, coordinating with international law enforcement agencies and bringing them back to India through appropriate legal channels. RBI keeps repo rate unchanged at 5.25% for fourth consecutive meeting. The Reserve Bank of India Monetary Policy Committee conducted its third bi-monthly monetary policy review of 2026. RBI Governor Sanjay Malhotra announced that the policy repo rate would remain unchanged at 5.25%. The repo rate is the interest rate at which the RBI lends short-term funds to commercial banks against eligible securities. When the RBI raises the repo rate, borrowing becomes more expensive for banks, which can eventually increase loan interest rates and help control inflation. When the RBI cuts the repo rate, borrowing can become cheaper, encouraging credit growth, consumption, and investment. Glav Lake becomes India's 101st Ramsar site. Arunachal Pradesh gets its first Ramsar wetland. Glav Lake in Arunachal Pradesh has been designated as India's 101st Ramsar site, marking a major milestone in the country's wetland conservation efforts. The designation also makes Glav Lake the first Ramsar site in Arunachal Pradesh. A Ramsar site is a wetland recognized as being of international importance under the Ramsar Convention on Wetlands, an international treaty adopted in 1971 at Ramsar, Iran. Wetlands are important because they provide habitats for plants, fish, birds, and other wildlife. They help regulate water flow and reduce the impact of floods. They contribute to groundwater recharge, they support local communities and livelihoods, and play an important role in maintaining ecological balance. Lok Sabha passes bill to raise Supreme Court's sanctioned strength to 38 judges. The Lok Sabha passed the Supreme Court Number of Judges Amendment Bill 2026 on August 3rd without a detailed debate. The legislation seeks to increase the sanction strength of the Supreme Court from 34 to 38 judges, including the Chief Justice of India. The bill amends the Supreme Court Number of Judges Act 1956. It increases the number of judges other than the CJI from 33 to 37. PM Modi inaugurates Alluri Sitaram Raju International Airport in Andhra Pradesh. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the Alluri Sitaram Raju International Airport at Bhogapuram in Vizianagaram district, Andhra Pradesh, a major greenfield aviation project aimed at strengthening connectivity and promoting economic growth in North Andhra Pradesh. The airport is Andhra Pradesh's first greenfield international airport after the 2014 bifurcation of the state. A greenfield airport is an airport constructed on a new site rather than being developed by substantially expanding an existing airport. Historic double gold for India in Judo at Commonwealth Games 2026. Indian judokas Asmita Dey and Harsh Singh created history at the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow by winning gold medals in their respective weight categories. Their victories marked the first ever Commonwealth Games judo gold medals for India. Cabinet approves 5,000 crore PM Surya Sarovar Yojana to boost floating solar power. The Union Cabinet has approved the Pradhan Mantri Surya Sarovar Yojana, a central sector scheme aimed at accelerating the development of floating solar photovoltaic projects across India. The scheme has a total outlay of 5,000 crore and targets the development of 5,000 megawatt of floating solar capacity during the financial year 2026-27 to financial year 2030-31. Under PM Surya Sarovar Yojana, solar panels will be installed on suitable reservoirs and other inland water bodies instead of using large areas of land. The scheme also provides for co-located energy storage systems with a minimum storage duration of 2 hours, equivalent to 10,000 megawatt hour for the targeted capacity. This approach combines solar power generation with energy storage, helping India make better use of renewable electricity even when solar generation falls. Karnataka imposes 1-year ban on gutka, pan masala and other tobacco nicotine products. The Karnataka government has imposed a statewide 1-year prohibition on the manufacture, storage, transportation, distribution and sale of products containing tobacco or nicotine, including gutka and tobacco containing pan masala. The move has been taken as a public health measure to restrict the availability of such products. Section 32A of the Food Safety and Standards Act 2006 empowers the Commissioner of Food Safety to take measures including prohibiting the manufacture, storage, distribution, or sale of an article of food in the interest of public health. Indian Navy launches next generation offshore patrol vessel Shruti at GRSE. The Indian Navy achieved another milestone in indigenous warship construction with the launch of its next generation offshore patrol vessel Shruti, designated yard 3037, at Garden Reach Shipbuilders Engineers in Kolkata, West Bengal. Next generation offshore patrol vessel is a naval ship designed primarily for long duration maritime patrol and surveillance. Asiatic lion population rises to 891, expands across Gujarat's Greater Gir landscape. India's Asiatic lion population has recorded a significant increase, rising from 523 lions in 2015 to 891 in 2025. The figure comes from the 16th Asiatic lion population estimation conducted by the Gujarat Forest Department in May 2025. The latest assessment represents a rise of more than 70% over the 2015 count. The increase from 674 lions in 2020 to 891 in 2025 represents a growth of about 32% in 5 years. This indicates that conservation measures have helped the species recover, while also enabling some lion groups to establish themselves beyond the traditional core habitat. PM Modi inaugurates Parampragya AI-powered supercomputing facility at IIT Delhi. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated Parampragya, an AI-powered high-performance supercomputing facility at the Sonipat campus of the Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi. The inauguration took place during IIT Delhi's 57th convocation ceremony, where Prime Minister Modi was the chief guest. Parampragya is a high-performance computing facility designed to provide powerful computing resources for artificial intelligence, data science, advanced computing, and interdisciplinary research. Such facilities enable researchers to process very large datasets and perform complex calculations much faster than conventional computer systems. Lok Sabha passes Taxation and Other Laws Amendment Bill 2026. New tax bill seeks to reform digital payments, attract investment, and boost electronics manufacturing. The Lok Sabha passed the Taxation and Other Laws Amendment Bill 2026 on August 6. The bill makes changes to the Payment and Settlement Systems Act 2007, the Income Tax Act 2025, and the Finance Act 2026. It was introduced in the Lok Sabha by the Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. The legislation also seeks to replace the Income Tax Amendment Ordinance 2026, which was promulgated on June 5. The bill was subsequently passed by the Rajya Sabha on August 10th. RBI appoints Monisha Chakravarti as Executive Director. Reserve Bank of India has appointed Monisha Chakravarti as an Executive Director with effect from 3rd August. Her appointment places her in charge of two important areas of the central bank's operations, the Foreign Exchange Department and the Financial Markets Regulation Department. PM Kisan scheme extended for 5 more years with 3.15 lakh crore outlay. The Union Cabinet has approved the continuation of the Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi scheme for another 5 years. The scheme will continue from 26-27 to 2030-31 with a total financial outlay of 3,15,614 crore. PM Kisan is a central sector scheme launched in 2019 to provide direct income support to eligible landholding farmer families. Under the scheme, eligible farmers receive Rs 6,000 per year, transferred directly into their bank accounts in 3 equal installments of Rs 2,000 each. The scheme is fully funded by the Government of India. Mission Shakti app brings key women and child safety helplines under one digital platform. The Mission Shakti mobile app, an initiative of the Government of India's Ministry of Women and Child Development, is designed to improve access to services related to women's safety, empowerment, and support. The Mission Shakti platform consolidates major public helplines so that users can find appropriate assistance more easily. Government information also confirms that the Mission Shakti portal, a mobile application, provides access to major helplines including 181, 15100, 1098, 112, 1930 and 14416. Karnataka mangoes reach Maldives in the first ever air shipment. In a significant development for India's agricultural exports, the Agricultural and Processed Food Products Export Development Authority facilitated the first ever air shipment of Neelam and Totapuri mangoes from Karnataka to the Maldives on 30th July. The shipment demonstrates how air transport can help Indian farmers and exporters access nearby international markets quickly, particularly for perishable agricultural products such as mangoes. Faster transportation can help maintain freshness and quality while reducing the time between harvesting and reaching consumers. India successfully test-fires Agni-4 ballistic missile in Odisha. India successfully test-fired the Agni-4 medium-range ballistic missile from the integrated test range at Chandipur, Odisha. On 6 August, the test was conducted under the aegis of the Strategic Forces Command. The Ministry of Defence stated that the launch successfully validated the missile's operational and technical parameters. Agni-4 is an indigenously developed nuclear-capable surface-to-surface ballistic missile. It belongs to India's Agni family of strategic missiles and is generally classified as an intermediate-range ballistic missile. It has a reported range of up to about 4,000 km and is designed for strategic deterrence. Chandipura virus outbreak, Centre deploys NJOT to Gujarat and Rajasthan. The Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare has deployed a national joint outbreak response team to Gujarat and Rajasthan following the ongoing outbreak of Chandipura virus disease during the monsoon season. Chandipura virus is primarily associated with sandflies, although other vectors such as mosquitoes and ticks have also been investigated. Therefore, vector surveillance and control form an important part of outbreak management. Chandipura virus is an emerging viral infection caused by the Chandipura virus, a member of the Rhabdoviridae family. It is particularly associated with acute encephalitis syndrome, a group of conditions involving inflammation or dysfunction of the brain. Children, especially those below 15 years of age, are considered particularly vulnerable. Chandipura virus has been reported mainly in parts of western, central and southern India, with outbreaks often occurring during the monsoon season, when conditions can favor the proliferation of vectors. Indian Statistical Institute Bill 2026 introduced in Lok Sabha. Major governance overhaul proposed. The Indian Statistical Institute Bill 2026 was introduced in the Lok Sabha on 3rd August. The proposed legislation seeks to repeal and replace the Indian Statistical Institute Act 1959 and establish the Indian Statistical Institute as a statutory body corporate with a more contemporary governance structure. The Indian Statistical Institute is one of India's premier institutions for statistics, mathematics, quantitative economics, computer science, and related disciplines. It was founded by renowned statistician P.C. Mahalanobis in Kolkata in 1931 and has played an important role in the development of statistical research and education in India. The existing ISI Act 1959 provides the statutory framework for the institute and recognizes it as an institution of national importance. Bharat International Rice Conference 2026 to bring global rice industry together in New Delhi. The second edition of the Bharat International Rice Conference 2026 is scheduled to be held from 23rd to 25th October at Bharat Mandapam, New Delhi. The event is being organized by the Indian Rice Exporters Federation, the apex organization representing more than 8,000 rice exporters and entities across India's rice export value chain. Rice is one of India's most important agricultural commodities and a major component of the country's agri-export sector. India is the world's largest rice exporter with annual exports exceeding 20 million tons and shipments reaching more than 170 countries. BERC is designed as an international platform where exporters, importers, policymakers, researchers, technology companies, processors, logistics providers, and other stakeholders can discuss opportunities and challenges in the global rice industry. Nauru officially becomes the Republic of Nauru. Country reclaims its traditional name. The Pacific Island nation, formerly known as Nauru, has officially adopted the name of Republic of Nauru. President David Ediang confirmed the change in July, following the approval of a constitutional amendment by Parliament in May 2026. The move is intended to restore the country's traditional name and strengthen its cultural and national identity. Nauru is the traditional indigenous name of the island. The name Nauru developed during the period of European contact when foreigners had difficulty pronouncing the original name. President Ediang and the Nauru government have presented the change primarily as a matter of heritage, language, and national identity, rather than a political transformation. Puducherry Police receives prestigious President's Color. Puducherry Police has been honored with the prestigious President's Color, also known as Nishan, at a ceremonial event held at the Puducherry Armed Police Ground in Gaurimedu. Union Home Minister Amit Shah presented the honor to the Puducherry Police, marking an important milestone in the history of the Union Territory's police force. The President's Color is one of the highest ceremonial distinctions awarded in India to a disciplined force, including eligible military units and state or Union Territory police forces. It recognizes distinguished service, discipline, professionalism, courage, and sustained commitment to public service. The honor is represented by a ceremonial flag or color that becomes an important symbol of the force's identity, traditions, and achievements. Kerala to become Keralam, Parliament cleared state name change bill. In a significant development concerning the constitutional identity of a state, Parliament has cleared the Kerala Alteration of Name Bill 2026, paving the way for the state of Kerala to be officially known as Keralam. The Lok Sabha passed the bill on 11th August, followed by the Rajya Sabha on 12th August. The bill seeks to amend the first schedule of the constitution where the names of the states and union territories are listed. The proposed change will replace Kerala with Keralam in the constitutional reference to the state. The power to change the name of an existing state comes from Article 3 of the Constitution of India. Under Article 3, Parliament has the power to form a new state, increase or diminish the area of a state, alter the boundaries of a state, and change the name of a state. Under Article 3 of the Indian Constitution, the power to rename a state rests exclusively with Parliament. The process is carried out via simple majority and does not require a constitutional amendment under Article 368. Step-by-step process for renaming a state starts with typically the process begins with the concerned state's legislative assembly passing a resolution, either unanimously or by a majority, which is then forwarded to the Union Ministry of Home Affairs. The Ministry of Home Affairs reviews the proposal and obtains no objection certificates from the Intelligence Bureau, Department of Posts, Railways, and the Survey of India to verify administrative, security, and geographical records. A bill regarding a name change cannot be introduced in either House of Parliament without the prior permission or recommendation of the President. If the bill affects the name or boundaries of a state, the President refers the draft to the concerned state legislature, setting a specific time frame for them to convey their views or opinions. The opinion or advice provided by the state legislature is not binding on the President or Parliament. Whether the state supports or opposes the name change, Parliament remains free to proceed with the matter. The bill is passed in both houses of Parliament by a simple majority, that is, a majority of the members present and voting. Once passed by both houses, the bill is sent to the President for assent. Upon receiving the President's signature, it becomes an act. Consequently, the new name is officially updated in the first schedule and the fourth schedule of the Constitution. India-Malaysia strengthen Air Force cooperation through exercise Udar Shakti 2026. The Indian Air Force and the Royal Malaysian Air Force commenced exercise Udar Shakti on 10th August at Subang Air Base, Malaysia. The 5-day bilateral exercise is scheduled to conclude on 14th August. Udar Shakti is a bilateral air exercise conducted between India and Malaysia. Its primary objective is to provide personnel of both air forces with an opportunity to train together, exchange professional knowledge, and improve operational coordination. VO Chidambarnar Port becomes India's first major port to achieve Scope 2 emission-free status. The VO Chidambarnar Port Authority in Thoothukudi, Tamil Nadu has achieved a significant milestone in India's green port and decarbonization efforts. On 10th August, it became India's first major port to be recognized as Scope 2 emission-free. The port has also become the first Indian port to receive ISO 50001 certification for its energy management system. The achievement highlights the port's growing reliance on renewable energy and its efforts to improve energy efficiency across port operations. Scope 2 emissions are indirect greenhouse gas emissions associated mainly with the electricity or other forms of energy purchased by an organization. In simple terms, Scope 1, direct emissions from sources owned or controlled by an organization, for example, fuel burned in its own vehicles. Second, indirect emissions resulting from purchased electricity or energy. Scope 3, other indirect emissions occurring throughout an organization's wider value chain. India shines at the 23rd International Linguistics Olympiad. Indian students delivered an impressive performance at the 23rd International Linguistics Olympiad held in Bucharest, Romania. India secured 1 gold medal, 3 bronze medal, and 1 honorable mention in the individual competition. The International Linguistics Olympiad is a unique academic competition that combines linguistics with logical reasoning and problem solving. Unlike conventional language competitions, participants do not necessarily need to know the languages appearing in the questions. Exercise Talisman Sabre 2027, major multinational military exercise planned for the Indo-Pacific. Exercise Talisman Sabre 2027 is scheduled to be conducted from 9th August to 22nd August 2027. The exercise is being planned as an expanded and highly ambitious edition of the Talisman Sabre series, with broader participation from partner countries across the Indo-Pacific region. Talisman Sabre is a major military exercise led jointly by Australia and the United States, with participation from other allied and partner nations. It is designed to strengthen military interoperability, operational readiness, and cooperation among participating forces. The exercise has been conducted biennially since 2005. ICAR develops India's first fully annotated telomere-to-telomere genome of region P. The Indian Council of Agricultural Research has achieved a major breakthrough in crop genomics by developing India's first fully annotated telomere-to-telomere reference genome of region P, using the popular pigeon pea variety Asha ICPL 87119. Telomere-to-telomere genome assembly aims to provide an exceptionally complete representation of a chromosome, extending from one telomere, the protective end of a chromosome, to the other. Earlier genome assemblies often contained gaps, particularly in highly repetitive regions such as centromeres and telomeres. A T2T assembly greatly reduces these missing regions and therefore provides researchers with a more complete genetic blueprint. In simple words, imagine a book with several missing pages. Researchers can still understand much of the story, but some important information may be absent. A T2T genome is similar to having a much more complete version of that book, allowing scientists to study regions that were previously difficult to analyze. Vishwesh Negi appointed India's next ambassador to Iran. The Government of India has appointed Vishwesh Negi, a 2002 batch Indian Foreign Service officer, as the next ambassador of India to the Islamic Republic of Iran. The appointment was announced by the Ministry of External Affairs. He is expected to take up his new diplomatic assignment in Tehran shortly. Negi is currently serving as a joint secretary in the Ministry of External Affairs. His appointment places an experienced Indian diplomat in charge of India's diplomatic mission in Iran at a strategically important time for India's engagement with West Asia. Varsha Ashok Aglave becomes first woman Director General of Geological Survey of India. Varsha Ashok Aglave assumed charge as the 54th Director General of the Geological Survey of India. With this appointment, she became the first woman to head the GSI in its 176-year history. She succeeded Asit Saha, who served as Director General from 27 July 2024 to 31 July 2026. The Geological Survey of India was established in 1851. It initially focused largely on the exploration of coal and subsequently expanded its activities to geological mapping, mineral resource assessment, geophysics, geohazards, marine geology, and other areas of geoscience. Cabinet approves 84,000 crore Samudra Manthan scheme for offshore oil and gas exploration. The Union Cabinet approved Samudra Manthan, the National Offshore Exploration Scheme, a major central sector initiative of the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. The scheme has an approved financial outlay of 84,084 crore and will be implemented up to financial year 2030 to 31. Samudra Manthan is a government program aimed at unlocking India's offshore hydrocarbon potential. Offshore exploration means searching for oil and natural gas beneath the seabed in areas covered by the sea. India and SSCU signed terms of reference to begin preferential trade agreement negotiations. India and the Southern African Customs Union have signed the terms of reference for negotiations on a proposed preferential trade agreement. The signing took place at Vanijya Bhavan, New Delhi. The Southern African Customs Union is a regional customs union consisting of 5 countries: South Africa, Botswana, Namibia, Lesotho, and Eswatini. It is one of the world's oldest functioning customs unions and provides a common framework for trade among its members. India diversifies urea imports amid West Asia supply disruptions. India has significantly diversified its sources of urea imports in 2026 as geopolitical tensions and disruptions in West Asia region affected traditional fertilizer supply routes. During April to June 2026, India imported about 2.5 million tons of urea, with 52% of the quantity coming from Egypt, Algeria, Nigeria, and Georgia. The West Asia conflict disrupted established trade and shipping routes and created uncertainty in the international fertilizer market. The Gulf region has traditionally been an important source for India's fertilizer imports, particularly urea. The disruption therefore encouraged India to look for suppliers outside the affected region. Unusual ozone layer detected over North Bay of Bengal at 21 to 23 km altitude. Scientists have detected an unusually concentrated and thick layer of stratospheric ozone over the North Bay of Bengal at an altitude of approximately 21 to 23 kilometers above the Earth's surface. The observation provides new evidence about how atmospheric circulation can transport and redistribute ozone over the Indian subcontinent. Normally, the highest concentration of stratospheric ozone is found at around 25 to 30 km altitude. However, the researchers observed a strong secondary ozone enhancement considerably lower between 21 and 23 km over the North Bay of Bengal. Researchers attribute the unusual enhancement mainly to atmospheric dynamics, particularly horizontal advection. That is, ozone-rich air from the mid-latitudes was transported towards the North Bay of Bengal. Second, vertical air movement and compression. Downward movement of air in the lower stratosphere compressed the air mass and contributed to the accumulation of ozone. Kavach 4.0 to strengthen safety and reliability on high-density railway routes. Indian Railways is expanding the deployment of Kavach version 4.0, an indigenous automatic train protection system, to improve railway safety, operational reliability, and train movement on busy railway routes. The system is particularly useful in challenging conditions such as dense fog and poor visibility, when it becomes more difficult for loco pilots to identify signals and maintain safe speeds. Kavach is India's indigenous automatic train protection system. It is designed to reduce the risk of accidents caused by the human error, including signal passed at danger incidents. Version 4.0 includes several technological improvements such as better location accuracy of trains, improved transmission of signal information, including in large railway yards, optical fiber cable-based communication between stations, direct integration with existing electronic interlocking systems, and automatic braking when intervention is required to maintain safety. Rare Himalayan bee, Quelatis botanicus, recorded in India for the first time in Arunachal Pradesh. Scientists from the Zoological Survey of India have recorded the rare solitary Himalayan bee, Quelatis botanicus, in Twang district of Arunachal Pradesh, marking the first confirmed record of the species in India. The discovery was made during a biodiversity survey in the eastern Himalayas. Quelatis botanicus is a solitary bee, meaning that unlike honeybees, it does not live in large organized colony. Individual bees generally establish and use their own nests. The species was recorded at elevations of approximately 1500 to 3800 meters in Twang. Researchers also observed it visiting around 25 species of flowering plants, including mustard, buckwheat, coriander, beans, chili, and eggplant. This indicates that the bee may contribute to pollination in both natural Himalayan ecosystems and mountain agricultural landscapes. Lok Sabha passes Tribunals Reforms Bill 2026 to strengthen tribunal system. The Lok Sabha passed the Tribunals Reforms Bill 2026 during the monsoon session of Parliament. The legislation seeks to create a more independent, transparent, uniform, and efficient system for the administration of tribunals in India. The bill proposes the establishment of an independent National Tribunals Commission to oversee important aspects of the tribunal system, including the selection and appointment of members, administration, functioning, performance review, and complaints. A tribunal is a specialized adjudicatory body that deals with particular categories of disputes. Unlike ordinary courts, tribunals generally focus on specific areas of law and may include members with judicial as well as technical or subject expertise. PMAY Urban crosses major milestone, over 1.25 crore urban houses sanctioned. The Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban and its expanded version 2.0 have achieved a major milestone in India's urban housing program. According to the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, more than 1.25 crore houses have been sanctioned, while over 1 crore houses have been completed and delivered to beneficiaries across the country. Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban was launched on 25 June 2015 to provide all-weather Pakka houses with basic civic amenities to eligible beneficiaries in urban areas. The scheme primarily addresses the housing needs of economically vulnerable urban households and aims to improve access to safe and affordable housing. The PMAYU 2.0, building on the experience of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban the first, the government launched the second version, Housing for All Mission, with effect from 1st September 2024. The second version aims to support 1 crore additional eligible urban families over 5 years, enabling them to construct, purchase, or rent affordable houses. Government e-Marketplace completes 10 years, crosses 20 lakh crore procurement milestone. According to the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, GEM had facilitated a cumulative gross merchandise value of more than 20 lakh crore through over 3.78 crore orders by this milestone. The platform was launched on 9th August 2016 to provide government organizations with an open, transparent, and technology-driven system for purchasing goods and services. Government e-Marketplace, or GEM, is India's online public procurement platform. It enables government buyers to purchase a wide range of goods and services through a digital marketplace instead of relying on conventional paper-based procurement processes. It was launched by the Ministry of Commerce and Industry on 9th August 2016. GEM was designed to improve transparency, efficiency, competition, speed, and ease of procurement. India's power generation capacity set to reach 874 gigawatt by 2031-32. India is preparing for a major expansion of its electricity generation infrastructure, with the country's installed power generation capacity projected to reach about 874 gigawatt by 2031-32. Under the National Electricity Plan, the projection is aimed at ensuring that electricity supply keeps pace with rising demand and India's growing economy. Installed capacity refers to the maximum electricity generating capacity of power plants that have been installed in the country. It does not mean that all these plants produce electricity at their maximum capacity at the same time. For example, if a power plant has an installed capacity of 1000 megawatt, it can generate up to 1000 megawatt under suitable operating conditions. Actual electricity generation can be lower because of factors such as fuel availability, weather, maintenance, and demand. India crosses 20,000 organ transplants in a year for the first time. India achieved a major milestone in healthcare in 2025, recording 20,138 organ transplants in a single year. This was the first time the annual number of organ transplants in India crossed the 20,000 mark, according to the latest annual figures compiled by the National Organ and Tissue Transplant Organization. An organ transplant is a medical procedure in which a damaged or failing organ is replaced with a healthy organ obtained from a suitable donor. Commonly transplanted organs include kidney, liver, heart, lungs, and pancreas. Indian origin NASA astronaut Anil Menon completes first spacewalk. Indian origin NASA astronaut Anil Menon successfully completed his first extravehicular activity outside the International Space Station on August 6. The spacewalk, designated US Spacewalk 96, lasted 6 hours and 27 minutes and concluded at Indian time 12:30 am on August 7. NASA confirmed that Menon and fellow astronaut Jessica Meir successfully completed their primary objective. An extravehicular activity is commonly called a spacewalk. It occurs when an astronaut leaves the spacecraft or space station and walks in the surrounding space while wearing a specially designed spacesuit. For example, repairing or installing equipment outside the ISS is an EVA. India and Uzbekistan targets $3 billion bilateral trade in 3 years. India and Uzbekistan have set an ambitious target of doubling bilateral trade to around $3 billion within the next 3 years. Target was discussed during the India-Uzbekistan Business Forum held in New Delhi, reflecting the two countries' efforts to strengthen economic and commercial relations. India launches first accreditation scheme for mobile food testing laboratories. The National Accreditation Board for Testing and Calibration Laboratories, a constituent board of the Quality Council of India, launched India's first accreditation scheme for mobile food testing laboratories. The scheme was unveiled during the Gunvatta Samanvay, a multilateral MOU exchange ceremony held at Hotel Ashoka in New Delhi. Pacific typhoon Dolphin and equatorial Pacific warming, possible influence on India's southwest monsoon. Weather scientists are closely monitoring the possible atmospheric influence of Typhoon Dolphin on the Indian southwest monsoon. Although the storm developed far from India and the western Pacific, large tropical weather systems can alter atmospheric circulation over a wide region and may temporarily influence rainfall patterns over the Indian subcontinent. In August 2026, Typhoon Dolphin became a major weather system in the western Pacific. It affected Japan's Okinawa region before striking eastern China, where it produced very heavy rainfall, flooding, and widespread disruption. Indian meteorologists and weather scientists also monitored its indirect atmospheric influence on the Indian monsoon. Reports indicated that dolphin circulation could temporarily suppress or modify the formation of some rain-bearing systems over the Bay of Bengal, potentially resulting in changes in rainfall over parts of India. Census 2027, Centre notifies 40 questions for population enumeration. The Union government has officially notified 40 questions for the population enumeration phase of Census 2027. The questions will be used to collect detailed information about individuals and households, covering demographic, social, educational, and economic characteristics. Population enumeration is the second phase of the Census 2027. Unlike the house listing and housing census, which focuses mainly on houses and household facilities, this phase collects individual level information about people living in households. For example, information may cover a person's age, marital status, religion, education, occupation, migration, and language. Lucknow Delhi Tejas Express to run as Sprite Tejas Express under new branding deal. In a first of its kind commercial branding initiative in the Indian railway sector, the Lucknow New Delhi Tejas Express will temporarily be identified as the Sprite Tejas Express. The arrangement covers trains numbers 82501 and 82502 and is being implemented through the Indian Railway Catering and Tourism Corporation. Under the arrangement, Sprite has received train branding advertising rights for the Lucknow New Delhi Lucknow Tejas Express. The service is scheduled to be announced as the Sprite Tejas Express from August 19 to November 11, covering about 83 days. The branded name will be used in announcements and displays at originating and en route stations. A crucial point to remember that Sprite is not operating or owning the train. So that is for the day, guys. Please hit the like button and subscribe our channel if you enjoyed the content. Share if you feel this could be beneficial to somebody. Share your feedback, suggestions, doubts in comment section. Our channel Doon GK Valley. It's on Facebook, Instagram and YouTube. You can go there and follow the channel. Thanks for watching. See you very soon. Happy learning. Jai Hind, Jai Uttarakhand.